All right, welcome Christ Church. This is Father Benji here with Bill Ketner, and we're just going to have an interview and a conversation around Foster and Families Resource Center. You've heard the announcements on Sunday morning. We just wanted to kind of dig in a little bit more and give Bill an opportunity to share a bit more about this really important ministry, doing a great work in Winston-Salem that we want to get behind as a congregation. And so let me just open it up with this, Bill. Thanks for being here and taking this time out. Could you briefly describe for us Foster and Families' mission and kind of core values?
Sure. Our mission is to assist and help foster kids and foster families in this region in a variety of different ways. Our values, we have kind of three key values. The first is we're doing this in order to follow the teaching and the example of Jesus, who taught and lived out the value of helping the least of these. Our second value is to be sure that we are open to serving any people with no restrictions, any foster family, any foster kid in this area. And then the third is that our value is operating with integrity and accountability to ensure that what we're doing, how we're handling our money, how we're handling our ministry is done appropriately and with excellence.
That's great. One of the questions we have is, what are you doing? And so, what sort of support and services are you providing for foster families and for children in the foster system?
We actually started out with a pretty small little vision. We wanted to provide new clothes and new bedding and personal hygiene items for foster kids, because we know that a lot of kids in the system come into the system without very much, and then foster families struggle with just having those extra kids, so we wanted to provide new things. Over the last year and a half, though, we've seen that the needs are really varied, and so whatever we can do, we try to do. We provide gift cards for groceries. We provide gift cards for gas if a foster family is struggling in that area. We've provided football cleats for a ninth grader who was going out for football for the first time. We've provided some respite times for foster families to get away. We've provided some training, some trauma-based training to help foster families be more effective in helping with their kids. So what we've seen is our scope is growing as we meet a need. We think about it, pray about it, and if we feel like we can meet it, we try to do it.
That's great. Can you help us just connect like what you're doing with maybe a particular story and the way like these kind of services and support are impacting real families and real children?
Right. Yeah, that's where you kind of have to pull me off the stage sometimes, because we have a lot of stories, and that's one of the things that God has done is when you get in the middle of it and you're sort of wondering, is this making a difference? Then God brings along one of those situations. Cindy shared one last week about some kids who had just come into care who had absolutely nothing. Just yesterday, we had a foster mom call. This foster family focuses on helping older kids in foster care. They had been a 17-year-old girl who had been in a group home, had been placed in this home. She said, "I just want to live in a regular home," and she came without much with her. So we were able to provide clothing. We were able to provide some books that she wanted. And then we didn't have exactly what she needed, but we actually had some gift cards around to Target and some other places that we were able to give her. Her foster mom was taking those out. This family has fostered teenagers for years and years and years. And anytime they have a foster child leave, they just ask again, we're ready for another teenager to come into our home.
That's great. As you know, and as Christ Church, as y'all know, we're kind of adopting Fostering Families Resource Center for Lent. And there are certain ways that you've encouraged us to jump in.
Right.
First through prayer. And so what are some of the ways that we can be praying for you? What are the things that y'all are praying for fostering families?
We ask for prayer for wisdom. We've never done this before. We've never, and we're asking God just to provide wisdom to us. We're asking for the abilities to reach out appropriately to foster families. We're looking for ways to expand outside of Forsyth County, and those opportunities are out there. We're just continuing to learn. I would also pray that God would use our efforts not just to provide some clothes or a gift card, but as opportunities to talk about who God is, who Jesus is, and the fact that He is the answer to the abundant life.
Yeah, that's great. One of the other ways that we were encouraging folks to jump in with y'all is through giving, both through financial donations, but also clothing and maybe even other ways. I saw that on your website you have a Amazon wish list.
Right.
So could you help us? Like, what are the ways that we can jump in on the giving front?
Right. Cash is always good. Because just like the example yesterday, we didn't have over at our place at Crossnor exactly what this young girl needed, but we were able to provide a gift card. So the cash is always helpful. One thing about what we do is we're all volunteer right now. So the vast majority, we pay no rent right now. So what we are given, we're able to just go ahead and pass on. Clothes are always great. And as you said on Sunday, some people love to go shop for clothes. Some people like to click and give. Clothes are great, and we do help families all the way from birth up to 17 or 18 years old. So we can take any size clothes that you have.
Okay.
And those are the two main giving opportunities. We're also looking for some longer term monthly type support, and God is bringing that around. Another church here in town for the first time this year is making a monthly donation. And we have some people who also just donate monthly. And I think one thing that's important to know is a little bit of money can do an awful lot sometimes. A $20 gift card can meet a need.
It's like Jesus can take 2 loaves and some fish,
and that's exactly what He's been doing for the last 18 months with us.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And then lastly, you've encouraged us to jump in through volunteering, and so explain to our folks just what are some of the ways that they could be volunteering, and what's the greatest need for volunteers right now?
We have a couple of different options. One is we have an amazing place that God provided over at Crossnor on Renolda Road that was already set up for clothes, toys, books, diapers. It was already there. So Cindy has a team of people who go in and sort and hang and keep that place the way it needs to be. That's one opportunity. Another opportunity is through some events we do. For instance, we're going to do an Easter egg event for foster families and foster kids on Palm Sunday. We can always use other people to come put out eggs and pick up eggs and do all kinds of things, and also just relate to foster families. And then I would say, lastly, just there are some things that need to be done around our place at Crossmore. There's some windows that need to be scraped and painted. There's a playground that could use some work. So if a life group or some individuals would like to be a part of that, we would love to talk to you about that.
That'd be great. Yeah, thanks for explaining each of those ways of jumping in through praying, giving, and volunteering. Just a few more questions here before we conclude. One, what's the future look like? I know you said you're in the middle of maybe expanding and you're setting your sights beyond Forsyth County. Right. What does the next 1 to 2 years look like for Fostering Families Resource Center?
Well, I would like to act like I had that all figured out. But we're going to continue to follow God's leadership in that. We know that the need is out there. One key area is we would love to find a way to help those people in the trenches, the social workers and supervisors through the local DSS offices who have a very difficult job. So that's one area of focus for this year, is how can we really encourage them? How can we help them? If they want to be prayed for, how can we pray for them? So we're working to try to figure out one of the best ways to help those people who are in the trenches. We're also looking to try to determine if there's a need for some support groups for foster families, and we would love to be a part of seeing more families become foster families.
I think one of the natural questions coming from once we get through Lent for our churches. What does it look like to continue to partner with y'all, both maybe as a church and then as individuals as they feel led?
Right. What we're asking for during Lent are the very same things that we need every month, every week. We need people giving, we need people praying, and we need people volunteering. So those are I would say, just keep doing what we've begun to do is what would be most helpful for us.
And then lastly, Bill, just as we think about this ministry of fostering, and this is a part of the ministry, the larger ministry of fostering and caring for foster families and the children that are in the system with the love of Jesus, what if you could say, what's one key message you'd want our folks to take away concerning this ministry?
I think the key message is that if God leads, there is a place for everyone to be a part of it. Whether it is buying an outfit once a year, whether it's giving some money once a year or every month, or whether it's moving more into some other programs like being a foster parent, being trained to be a respite parent, a respite family for foster families. There's a place for all of us, I think, in every season of life, if God's leading us in that direction. Sometimes I think for me, I struggle with wanting to start big. Well, I was never really equipped. Cindy and I were not equipped or the right people to be foster parents or adopting. But when God began to show me that small steps, there's other ways that we can meet needs. And there's something for all of us to help these kids and these families.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Bill. And we're looking forward to jumping in with you guys and partnering with y'all, and not just for Lent, but even beyond that, and excited for that. So may God bless the work of Fostering Families Resource Center here in Winston, and may by His grace in other counties that surround here. And so thank you again for coming in.
Thank you. All right.
Well, we'll hope. It was a shot in the dark. Good, 12 minutes. I think that's not bad.
Not too bad. Especially with me going.